Chancellor Olaf Scholz has defended his government's migration policy in a passionate Bundestag address. Vienna has been ranked Europe's most livable city for the third year in a row.
The United States and Britain pledged nearly 1.4 billion euros in additional aid to Ukraine on Wednesday. Much of the effort was aimed at bolstering the energy grid that Russia has repeatedly pounded ahead of an expected difficult winter.
Thank you for this participation.
We're announcing $325 million in new funding to help repair Ukraine's energy and electric grid. And we'll rally additional support from the G7 plus countries when we have a meeting of the Energy Coordination Group in the next couple of weeks. I'm also announcing today $290 million in new humanitarian support to help provide vital services like safe drinking water, food, shelter, medicine to millions of people in Ukraine and around the region who've been displaced by Putin's war. And finally, we're announcing $102 million in additional funding in humanitarian demining.
British Foreign Secretary David Lammy confirmed that his country would provide another $709 million in assistance and loan guarantees.
Russian aggression is on behalf of the British people for the horrendous civilian.
In the end of August, Ukraine presented to the US a list of potential targets in Russia that Kyiv aims to hit. The list included airfields used by Russia to launch attacks on Ukrainian cities, which are within ATACMS range. According to the Institute for the Study of War, there are 245 of military and paramilitary objects, and this list does not include the various field camps and new installations that the Russian military has erected near Ukraine to support Russia's war. So it is rather conservative and only identifies a portion of all the military objects in range of ATACMS. The regimental brigade and division headquarters provided in the list are mainly relevant in how these objects facilitate training and serve as storage areas, since the combat units that are normally permanently based here are forward deployed in Ukraine. So even though Russia redeployed some of its combat aircraft from the airfields within the ATACMS range, and there are 16 of those in the area, it does not reduce the importance of allowing Ukraine to use ATACMS against hundreds of other Russian military objects, states the Institute for the Study of War, and it is unlikely that the Russian military has redeployed assets away from all the 245 objects to the same degree as it has done with aircrafts.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz rolled his sleeves up for a passionate speech in the German parliament on Wednesday morning. Scholz underlined the public's wish for serious politics rather than a theatrical performance after talks about migration with opposition party CDU collapsed on Tuesday. Scholz added that many people from other countries have helped the German economy, but stressed that the government must be able to choose exactly who comes to Germany.
Und weil die Sache so wichtig ist, will ich gerne und ausdrücklich sagen, wir sind immer noch bereit. Die Tür ist nicht zu. Wir würden das mit Ihnen machen.
Addressing the recent success of anti-immigration far-right party Alternative for Germany, AfD, during the two recent East German state elections, Scholz said that the AfD party is married to the past and trying to rob Germany of its future.
Führung ist nicht, dass man auf eine Barrikade steigt, mit einer wilden Geste Forderungen erhebt. Führung ist, dass man sich umdreht und die eigenen Leute zu einem Kompromiss zu bewegen in der Lage ist. Das ist Führung, Herr Merz.
Although Chancellor Scholz aggressively defended his coalition government's policy to welcome migrants, other EU countries such as Poland say the German government's decision this week to extend spot controls to all its land borders undermines Europe's Schengen agreement and could destabilise the EU as a whole. Liv Stroud in Berlin for Euronews.
Neighbouring countries are expressing criticism following Germany's decision to set up temporary controls at all of its land borders. The decision, which expanded checks already in place at some borders, aims to curb irregular migration, according to German Interior Minister Nancy Faeser. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said the action was unacceptable from the Polish point of view, adding that the decision means the suspension of the Schengen zone on a large scale.
Zwrócimy się w najbliższych godzinach do innych państw, które będą dotknięte tymi decyzjami Berlina, o pilne konsultacje w sprawie działania na forum Unii Europejskiej w tej kwestii.
Austria's Interior Minister Gerhard Karner said Germany's decision was illegal and that Austria would not accept migrants rejected by Germany. However, he also said he was glad that Germany was addressing what he said was the major problem of illegal migration in Europe.
Es ist nicht zu akzeptieren, wenn illegale Dinge passieren. Wir leben in einem Rechtsstaat und wenn Deutschland dies plant, dann ist das illegal in dieser Art und Weise. Daher werden wir keinen annehmen, keinen zurücknehmen. Hier gibt es null Spielraum.
The temporary controls at all German borders sparked a fierce debate about whether refugees could be turned back. Discussion is dominating German political discourse about asylum and migration policy.
Police authorities in Kosovska Mitrovica, northern Kosovo, say at least 4 people were arrested in a part of the divided city dominated by Serbs, following the visit of Prime Minister Albin Kurti on Monday. Serbian democracy leader Aleksandar Asenijevic was arrested and detained by the police. The latest comes amid the closure of 2 of the 4 border crossings with Serbia after protesters blocked the road and prevented motorists with Kosovo documents from passing through.
Mi sad imamo sporazum. Sporazum mora da se poštuje, sporazum mora da se implementira, ali Beograd ne priznaje sporazum koji je priznao, jer sada su uvideli da o velikoj srpskoj ideologiji.
Northern Kosovo, with a predominantly ethnic Serb population, has long been a flashpoint of tensions between Pristina and Belgrade. The latest have been ongoing for weeks over the option of opening the bridge on the Ibar River.
Any decision in this respect must be taken through dialogue and in timely and effective coordination with the international community.
Serbian activists say they want Kosovo police officers withdrawn from the city. Some have also demanded that KFOR, the NATO-led peacekeeping force in Kosovo, assume control over the northern region. The 2 closed crossings are in Kosovo's north. Serbian authorities say they will respond to Prime Minister Albin Kurti's actions by Friday, which they consider provocations. But they've also said they are ready to continue the dialogue in Brussels in the hope to join the EU bloc. Both sides have an uneasy relationship. At least 25 people have been killed in recent Israeli strikes on Palestinian territories. Authorities in Gaza on Wednesday said about 20 of the victims, including 16 women and children, were killed in the Gaza Strip. According to Gaza's health ministry, the strike on a tent camp in an Israeli designated humanitarian zone claimed at least 19 lives, while another person was killed in airstrikes targeting the Bureij refugee camp in central Gaza. At least 5 others were killed in strikes in the occupied West Bank. Meanwhile, an Israeli soldier was critically injured after a fuel tanker crashed into a bus stop in the occupied West Bank. Israeli officials described the incident as an attack and said the assailant has been neutralized. Israel has stepped up military raids across the occupied West Bank in recent weeks. The city of Jenin in the territory is seeing the longest Israeli operation in the area in 20 years, which is leaving widespread destruction.
This is the 3rd year in a row that Vienna has been named the most livable city in the world by the Economist Intelligence Unit, taking into account many considerations falling under 5 categories of education, environment, healthcare, infrastructure, and culture.
When we talk about Mercer or even the Economist Intelligence Unit, I think these studies or these rankings are very comprehensively looking into factors such as the availability of green space or public transportation or the infrastructure in general. And I think as someone who lives here, Vienna ticks many boxes here and really is a very livable city, a city that just works very well. Vienna perfectly combines Northern European efficiency and Southern European lifestyle. And this lifestyle involves a very high degree of enjoyment. It's not so much a matter of what you can do here in the city, it's more a matter of what you want to do.
It sounds simple, but I think the transit system actually is a really important part of it, because it's really easy to get around. You can get basically anywhere from point A to point B within 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, pastries are quite expensive, but it's not primal need in life, you know? So food is quite expensive. That's the only thing that is kind of sad. And that Vienna could do better. But yeah, I'd say the best part is that you can just go out and stay out. And it's safe, and it's reachable,